Hello everybody. My name is Andrea C. This is I Heart Cross Stitch and I am here for my September 2019 cross stitch update video. As you can see, I've got my morning cup of coffee here in this giant coffee mug, and it is more than half empty. You can see my lipstick marks. Now, this coffee cup is huge, right? Pretty big. This is the size of coffee cup that I'm supposed to drink out of. And this is what I've been drinking out of. So, I think I've been having a little bit too much caffeine. This is what I'm supposed to drink. This is what I've been drinking. So I think that you could probably get 3 or 4 cups of these into that. It takes me a while to get through this, and sometimes I don't even finish the whole thing, but I like the option of having as much as I want instead of having to refill a coffee cup like over and over, because I don't care if the coffee doesn't stay hot. I don't care if it gets room temperature or a little cool. It doesn't matter to me. So yeah, I thought I'd share my giant coffee mug. I'm not really feeling all that great today. My teenage son has been sick. Last week he missed Monday through Thursday of school. He didn't go to school any of those days. He did go to school on Friday, and I feel like I am fighting it now. I have a sore throat and congestion and everything like that. But I thought if I don't get this video done today, I don't know when it's going to get done. And I really wanted to make a video before I go to the retreat in 2 weeks. All right, so let's get to the projects that I worked on. The first one is, okay, so before I show you my projects, I'm sure you can see that this is a little bit of a different viewpoint than what you are used to seeing. My couch is behind me. There we go. My couch is behind me. Usually I am over there and the couch is behind the camera because my light source is right here. And usually I like to have it so that the light source is behind the camera. But I thought that you all would probably like to see a little bit something different than what you normally see. So there's my couch. It's this awesome gray color, and the pillows are kind of like gray and like a mint green, which matches the color of my walls. I don't know if you can tell, but that's not a white wall, that's a green. It's kind of like a mint green or a seafoam green. It's really light green, and I like how the gray, the dark gray and the light green go together. So I'm doing this for you. So I'm sorry if when I show you things, if the light is weird. Okay, so the first project that I worked on last month is Tuscany. It's a Riolis kit. And that is kind of what it will look like when it's finished. This model pick was stitched on 14 count Aida. I'm stitching it on 16 count Aida. And here is my progress so far. I've kind of folded it a little bit to make it easier for me to show you. There we go. There we go. So as you can see, I'm not stitching it on white. I chose a Zweigart Aida 16 count, and the color is clay. I did that because I wanted more of an earth tone. I wanted earth tone fabric for this project. So I was able to get a lot accomplished. In 10 days, I stitched on this the first 10 days of September, and I'm very pleased with the amount of progress I was able to make. It's one of those projects that kind of look a little pixelated up close, but once you pull it back, it's less pixelated and it just looks fantastic. Love this project. All right, so there's Tuscany. I enjoy working on that. The threads that came with this are all Anchor. Here it is what some of them look like. Sorry about that. They're Anchor floss. They're cotton. It's not the wool. And here are some of the colors that are used in that project. So it's 100% cotton floss from Anchor. Okay, so worked on that the first 10 days. Then on the 11th day of September, I started a new project. I started Tree of Life from Awesome Pattern Studio. Now, if you remember, I don't know whether it was earlier this year or late last year, I had a giveaway. Sorry about that. My younger son and my older son are in their room playing Pokemon, and I heard something fall. So, fortunately, crying did not come after the falling sound, so I'm sure they're fine. Anyhow, I had a giveaway either last year or earlier this year, and the prize was I would stitch something from this collection of patterns. If you'll remember, there's a calendar from Awesome Pattern Studio. They had a 2019 calendar, and there were 12 patterns from that calendar, and I mentioned that I would be very interested in stitching practically all of them, but it's not necessarily something I would want to keep or hang on my walls or whatever, but I would really like to stitch them, and so I offered to stitch it for one of my viewers, and Pam from Farm Boys Love on Instagram won, so I'm stitching this for her. And I'm currently working on it right now, so it's in my Q-snap. But here is the amount of progress I was able to make, and let me put this behind it. Okay. So I made a lot of progress. 10 days, I worked on this 10 days in September, and I picked it up again on October 1st. So I'm really happy with the amount of progress I've made on this already. I've gotten pretty much almost half, yeah, I would say more than half of the top of the tree done. So I'm right now working on filling in all of this, and then I'll start working down in the trunk. So I'll probably finish, I'd like to finish this sometime in November, next month. My goal is to finish this in November so I can send it to Pam. So I'm really pleased with that. And then in the last 10 days of September, I worked on this. It's I Am a Needlesmith from By the Bay Needle Art. And here is my progress so far. The Tree of Life, this I am working on 14 count Aida using 3 strands. And this fabric is actually the fabric that came in the Tuscany Reolist kit. I swapped it out. I saved the fabric to use for whenever I needed fabric for another project, and so that's what this is. So this Aida is the fabric that came in the Realist kit. It's a very good Aida, very good quality. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. By the Bay Needle Art, I'm a Needlesmith, and give me 1 second. So here I am on that, and I am using the recommended fabric for this, which is a 32 count. It's a 32 count antique white Lugana from Fabric Flare, I believe. Now, as you can see, I have made some changes in the, I'm sorry, I'm moving it around. I need to keep it still. The lady, I changed her dress to be in kind of like dusty purples. I think it's 3051, 3052. And then the cream part of her dress is 550. No, not 550. That's purple. It's 540 something. I wrote it down, but I don't have it with me. 543. I don't remember. Anyhow, it's on my Instagram if you're interested, or I can if you want to know specifics, just let me know in the comments and I will reply to your comment. But the water is Tropical Island, I believe, from Gast, and the red house is cherry cobbler, and I was able to finish those sheep. I love the sheep, they're cute. And the basket, you probably won't be able to see it, but let's see if I can get in here. In the basket, it has pieces of yarn, and I use Smyrna stitches for the yarn because I wanted it to be full and fluffy looking. So, and there's the red house with the cherry cobbler. The roof is DMC 4000. There's my lady. So I'm really pleased with this. I love this project. Okay, so there are my whips. We're what, 12 minutes in? And whips are done. So I'm going to show you some of the things I've purchased. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Now, Diana from It Is Kismet talked about this FlossTuber on her channel a little while ago. And I had never heard of this person before. Actually, I had, but I just never got around to watching her videos. So I checked out her channel. I'm madly in love with her and her channel and everything she shows and talks about. Her name is Amanda May, and her channel is Ardith Designs, I believe. ARD. No, wait. Let me look, because I want to make sure I get this correct. Yes, ARDITH Design, Ardith Design. So if you haven't seen her videos and you're interested, and if I don't have the link below yet, in the Google search bar, type in ARDITH Design, okay? She's fantastic. I watch her almost every single day. I've gone way back to the beginning, every morning. Okay, so I listen to FlossTube while I'm working. Okay, so I don't necessarily watch FlossTube unless you say, you know, like, look at this, and then I'll look over. But usually I just listen to FlossTube while I'm working. And so when I begin my FlossTube listening day with Amanda May, because she is like a serious cup of coffee that wakes you up in the morning. Anyhow, she talked about this book on one of her videos. So this is a book that she designed and published. I got it from her store on Amazon. It's called My Stitching Friends. It says address book for my needlework. I'm reading this backwards. Oh, friends and social media contacts. Oh, see? Ardith Design. And so I plan on taking this with me to the retreat in 2 weeks. And I'm going to see if I can have everybody fill out their contact information. See? So they can give me as much or as little information as they want, but I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about the retreat. I'll talk about that later when I get to the retreat segment. But anyhow, got this book. I think it was $10, and I love it. Okay. Okay. So once a year, we have to go into the office. Oh, I forgot. Oh, here it is. Okay. Once a year, we have to go into the office for a meeting. It's like a day-long meeting. And I recently had to go in. It was September 17th, I believe. I had to go into the office. So my husband took that day off from work, and he took our younger son to school, picked him up from school. Things that I normally do, he took care of that day. And the office, because, you know, I work from home, right? I work from home, but once a year we have to go into the office. So I went into the office that day. The office is like 5 minutes away from a cross-stitch store called the Crafty Framer. And I figured if I'm in the neighborhood anyway, I might as well stop by there and see what they have. And I will be honest with you, they have a lot of stuff that a lot of you would probably love. But I don't have the same kind of cross-stitching. I'm not drawn to a lot of the things that the majority of people on FlossTube are drawn to. I'm not going to go into more of that, but I think that based on the projects that you've seen me stitch, I think that you'll understand what I mean when I say that. So it was very difficult for me to find. I don't go there that often because it's very difficult to find things there that I'm interested in purchasing. But I thought, I'll just go and see if I can find anything. And I did. I found two things. The first one is from the Blue Flower. It's called Winter Squirrel. And I just love this. I mostly love the squirrel. I love the coloring in the squirrel. Now, I brought this home and I was all excited about it, and I showed my husband, and he was like, is that squirrel pulling a Christmas tree in the wagon? And I was like, that's not a Christmas tree. It's just a tree with acorns on it. And he said, well, it's called Winter Squirrel, and it kind of looks like a Christmas tree. And I couldn't see it. But then the more I looked at it, the more I thought, maybe, is he right? See, when I look at this, I don't see a Christmas tree. See, I've explained in a past video, the video where it was like 20 random facts about yourself or whatever. The thing that was going around on FlossTube a couple of years ago where you had to say 20 things about yourself. At the end of that, I did mention that I don't celebrate Christmas. So when I say things like this, my mind doesn't automatically go to Christmas. I just see a squirrel pulling a tree that just happens to have acorns on it. But I wanted to know your opinion. Do you consider this a Christmas tree? Because it doesn't look like a Christmas tree to me. But I wanted to know your opinions on that. Anyhow, I love this. I think it's adorable. Okay. Now, the next, let me get this out of the package. Okay. I have been wanting to start or buy a long dog sampler for a really long time, but I wanted my first long dog sampler to be very special. It had to be, you know, it couldn't be just any ordinary long dog. It had to be special. And so I have been trying to decide, and I finally, when I saw this at the Crafty Framer, I was like, that's it. That's my first long dog. So it is this one, Crossword. Yep, Crossword. And I love it. I love it. And I'm pretty sure I know the color scheme that I'm going to use for this. And when I begin this, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. I love it. This is one of the projects that you just look at and you see different things all the time. Like, look, there's a little spider dangling. And there's a fish. I didn't see that the first time. Oh man, I love this. I love it. Okay, I'll put that away later. I can hear banging going on in there. I don't know what is happening, but oh well. All right, so last weekend, my sister-in-law Diane, remember Paris Market? I stitched Paris Market for her. It's my husband's sister. She and I took my younger son Brandon to a museum in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is about 45 minutes south of me. And there's a museum there called Great Explorations Children's Museum. So we went there and we had a really fun time. Brandon had a great time playing and exploring and just being creative, and it was a really good day. And then, excuse me. And then for lunch, we went to a Greek restaurant called Athenian Gardens, and it was fantastic. I had Greek salad and chicken souvlaki. And my younger son loves Greek food. I'm trying to introduce it to him little by little. Where I live in Florida, there is a huge Greek community. And Greek restaurants are everywhere here. And I love Greek food. I could eat it every day. Anyhow, I want him to become acclimated to eating Greek food since it's abundant here. And in St. Petersburg, Florida, there is a needlework shop called Silk Road. Now, you probably heard about Silk Road before. I have talked about them before. Nicole from Nicole's Needlework also goes there when she comes down to Florida to visit her mother. I don't know if any other cross stitchers have mentioned it, but it's a fantastic needlework store. It's mostly needlepoint where the image is painted on. So, you know, it's very expensive if you want to purchase a painted canvas, but the amount of specialty threads in his shop, the man who owns the shop, his name is Eddie, the amount of threads in that shop, it's just it's overwhelming. There's so much to see, and he has another room with threads and fabric, like cross stitch fabric. So much cross-stitch fabric, and there's another room with charts. I mean, it's a small room. His most of the store is dedicated to needlepoint, but there are cross-stitch sections where you can find really good patterns and a lot of floss. So I went there. I was able to go there because my sister-in-law was with me. She was able to keep Brandon busy and occupied while I shopped. So I got these two charts there. I got from Cottage Garden Samplings, the Songbird Garden Series number 10, Sing for Joy. A lot of people have showed this before, so I'm sure you know what it looks like. So I got that, and I got number 8, Have Courage. Look at that bird. Oh, so beautiful. So pretty. Oh yeah, see? Silk Road Needle Arts. That's cool. And, okay, so the last purchase I'm going to show you, I bought this on Etsy. I bought it directly from the designer, Tempting Tangles. Tempting Tangles does have an Etsy store. If a designer has an Etsy shop and I want to buy something from that designer, I will usually go to the designer shop. Unless I find it in a brick and mortar store. If that designer has an Etsy shop, I will buy it from the Etsy shop because I want the money to go directly to the designer, not necessarily, I think you know what I'm talking about. Let me take this out. Okay, so I have been wanting and loving this design for a long time. I showed it to my husband and he doesn't really get it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. It's one of those projects where I looked at it and I gasped and I knew that I had to stitch this. It's called Arc of White. Oh my goodness. See, some of you will look at this and think, what? You won't understand the draw I have to this, and some of you will look at it and you will understand. I love this. I am madly in love with this design. So it says, a spider sewed at night without a light upon an arc of white, from Emily Dickinson. And if you look really close, there is a spider there. It is created by using this giant bead and using 3 strands, I believe, of a certain color floss as the legs, and then some beads for the eyes. And it turns out like that. I love it. I love it, y'all. Okay, so that's all I have for my projects, my purchases. I do want to give 2 shout outs really quick. Now, these are FlossTubers that I've been watching for quite some time now. Neither one of them have as many subscribers as I think that they should have. And I really want to mention them so that you can go to their channel and subscribe to them. The first one is Savannah M. Now, her channel name is spelled a little bit differently. It's SVANNAH space M. It's not Savannah like you would think that it would be spelled, like Savannah, Georgia, SAV. There's no A. It's just SVANNAH space M. I've been watching her since she started making FlossTube. She's been making FlossTube for quite some time now. I think that she's almost at 500 subscribers. Her projects are amazing and fantastic. She also does diamond painting. She also does knitting, I believe. Either knitting or crochet. I'm pretty sure it's knitting. But maybe she does crochet too. And I know that she has some sewing projects, or she had at one point. But she's a fantastic stitcher. I think that she and I would be friends if we lived closer together. You know, I think she lives in Colorado. I live in Florida. So go to her channel and give her a shot. Another person that I'd like to mention is, now, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name correctly. Yantina. I'm going to assume that the J is pronounced with a Y sound. So it's Jantina Stitches. Yantina Stitches. She lives in the Netherlands, and she is such a sweet person. I really enjoy watching her videos, and give her a shot. Give her a shot too, because she's great. She's a lovely person, wonderful stitcher. And there's that. Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is the retreat that I'm going to be going to in 2 weeks. I'm really, really excited, and I'm really, really nervous. When I think about the going to the retreat, I get really excited. Well, it's kind of like I go back and forth. Like one minute I will be super, super excited, and I think about the retreat sometimes and I'm just filled with overwhelming dread. And I know that's very odd and bizarre, and I can't really explain it. It's so new to me. Everything is new to me. I'm not new to flying. I'm not nervous at all about flying. I still haven't worked out how I'm going to get from the airport to the hotel. I'm thinking a taxi. I can't say that I'm experienced with taxis. I don't know. Like, how much do you tip a taxi driver? I have hair I'm shedding. I have hair all over me. Oh, it's annoying. Anyhow, I'm getting there on Thursday. The retreat doesn't officially start until Friday. So it's like, what do I do on Thursday? How do I find a place to eat? Nothing is really within walking distance. I don't know. I'm just really nervous about that. Because I'm going to get there, I think around 2, maybe 2. So I'm not nervous about lunch because I can eat. I'll probably have lunch with my husband before we go to the airport or at the airport or whatever. But for dinner on Thursday, I have no idea how that's going to work. And so I don't know, like, do I need to bring my own water container with a lid? I don't know if that will be provided. Do I have to bring my own? Where does the water come from? Like, is the water provided by the hotel? I'm asking because I drink water all day long. I have water on the table right over there. I have water with me all day long. I drink water all day. I'm wondering, will the hotel provide water? And is it water bottles or is it tap water? Is it filtered? I drink filtered water. Anyhow, so that piece of unknown is kind of making me feel nervous and like, you know, oh my gosh, just like, I don't know. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that I'm going. I'm really excited. I'm really thrilled, but I'm also very nervous. Which leads me to another thing. If you're watching this and you're going to be going to the retreat, please know that when I get nervous and excited, I tend to giggle and laugh. And it's just, if you don't believe me, ask Ginger Gerald Stitcher. One time he and I don't know, I think it was through FaceTime or Skype or something, but we had like a video chat thing, and I giggled like an idiot the entire time practically because I was so excited to meet him face to face, kind of. I mean, not in real person, but you know, we were looking at each other and talking, and like I giggled like an idiot through the whole thing. And so just know that about me, that that I will probably be giggling a lot, and I don't know. I'm going to try and restrain myself and contain myself so that I don't know. Okay, I feel like I'm rambling now, and I'm almost 35 minutes in. All right, well, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for continuing to watch my videos. And look for another video from me very soon, probably a week from today, because 1 week from today will be my 4-year FlossTube anniversary. I made my first video on October 13th, 2015. And so my plan is to make a video 1 week from today and have a whip parade. And maybe a stash dive too. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe some giveaway stuff. I'm not sure. I might come up with a plan. I might wing it. I might not make the video because I'm not feeling well. And I almost hiccuped on my video. So I guess it's time to go. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for continuing to watch my videos. And I will talk to you in a week, hopefully, okay? Love you all. Bye.